With the BFDI series being over 12 years old, it's obvious that the show has a lot of characters, but some characters don't have such an important role to the point where they end up completely forgotten, not only by the viewers but from the show's creators themselves. And no, I'm not talking about the countless recommended characters, or any of the characters that appear outside of the show like in Twitter. This video is dedicated to fairly major characters in the show's lifespan, that might not be very memorable to most BFDI fans. If you enjoy this video and would like to see more videos like this and more, click the like and subscribe buttons, and hit bell to get notified when I upload new videos. With that out of the way, let's go over the characters you forgot about. The first BFDI episode surprisingly contains not only one character you forgot about but multiple ones. In part B of episode 1, the squashy grapes accidentally crash into the squishy cherries, causing them to fly up in the air while multiple fish creatures attack them. The first creature is the fish monster, who I will not cover in this video because he has made multiple appearances, so I wouldn't consider it forgotten. But the next one in line is a bit weirder, being a cannon. This made me really confused. There really is no real threat to Goiki that will warrant cannons being set up in the lake, as the main villain, Evil Leafy, wasn't even created until the finale. But assuming the fact the cannon is aiming up means something, these cannons might have been set up to defend against speaker box UFOs and maybe even the algebralians. The other creatures of the canal are tongue monsters that shoot their tongue up, chomping plants, worms, sick faces similar to Yellowface, and a strange crab-like scribble creature. Coming next in the second episode, during the Squashy Grapes' elimination, 7 votes were counted, with one of them being a vote for Sam,
whoever Sam is.
While no one is exactly sure who the Sam character truly is, a popular theory around this character is that it's referring to Sam Lee, the voice actor of Lollipop, Pie, and Stampy. BFDI 4's ending contains a radio person notifying the people of Goiki about Needles Cave.
Scientists have recently classified Earth as a triple planet system, consisting of Earth, the Moon, and something called...
We never get to see who this character really is, but I assume they have some sort of connection to the abandoned TV studio we see in BFB 29. Some other radio announcers appear throughout the series, but they're all in different seasons, so we'll get to them later. The next characters are actually a sort of duo, being Bali and Marble from BFDI 14. They are both part of the announcer's marble collection that were later retrieved from a 10-foot deep vat of acid by Tennis Ball and later seemingly given to Coiny, as they both appear on Coiny's shelf in BFB 17. But since BFB 17 was when new animators started coming in, I would still count Bali and Marble as forgotten, since the people that join the animation team of BFDI are mostly big fans that know a lot about the show and wanted to reference these two characters. The next character appears on many occasions in the BFDI universe, being the yellow stick figure. He appears in challenge explanations, yellow face ads, and even as a game character in the DDSS gaming console. The character bears extreme resemblance to Carrie KH's character, the co-creator of BFDI. The next characters come in BFDI 17, when Blocky broadcast his regularly scheduled prank show. Blocky credits 2 people called Simondo Mino and Jerry L7, while they are just the names of 2 BFDI viewers that both inspired the idea for the fiery prank. Jack and Jellify added a bit of lore to these 2 via the text below them. These 2 are actually sponsors for 2 in-universe games. I'll go into more depth about each one. The Ondomino game is a game where you care for your Ondomino, battle against your Ondomino, cook your own Ondomino, and hit the like button. A smaller piece of text below gives us some background lore. The game was made by a small game developer that after it got popular, it was bought out by a large company. Once the small developer decided to quit working on the game, the cooperation made terrible sequels that led to its eventual downfall. The other game that was being sponsored alongside the Simondo Mino game was the Jerry L7 game, that if we ignore the red marker drawn on the words, is supposed to be a game teaching kids how to spell numbers. In BFDI 20, once they get to space, the announcer explained the dangers of space before they begun the challenge. He lists things like getting hit by an asteroid or getting abducted by aliens, which both happen, and we see an alien spaceship abduct Rocky. Alien spaceships aren't a new thing to BFDI at all. They're used by the speaker boxes as transportation devices, But I don't think that this alien spaceship belongs to any of them, as I don't think the announcer would refer to his own kind as aliens. After the challenge ended, Leafy shows Bubble her niceness chart, with one of the levels being called Shockingly Nice, which under the circumstances GLaDOS has been. If you don't know, this character GLaDOS is the main antagonist of the game Portal, who is basically a robot created by a company called Aperture Science to aid creation of the Portal technology, with the level being a reference to the second game's ending song.
Under the circumstances, I've been shockingly nice.
In BFDI 23, these are the characters who are in the tiny loser chamber, but there is actually one more hidden character in there. When Fiery peeks into the broken tiny loser chamber, he can be heard being slapped by someone we presume is Coiny, but the bottom left recommended text tells us it's actually a variant of Coiny called Invisible Coiny, which might as well just be non-existy with a disguise. We've finally reached the first season's finale. After Leafy steals Dream Island and all that stuff you already know, the contestants rip her apart, revealing that she's a football, which doesn't make any sort of sense, as we know Leafy is completely flat since she was able to fit through the pillars in the chase scene while others that have bigger bodies couldn't, and also the fact she returned to normal 3 seconds later, leaving me to assume this is some kind of hallucination, and since football never appeared in the show ever afterwards, she's probably left for good. So let's move on to BFDI. Hold it, there is actually one more thing I haven't mentioned. There is actually a secret season of BFDI you might haven't even known about that took place between BFDI 24 and 25 called BFDI Apazio 225555555, which was actually the first appearance of Lai, Stapy, and Foldy, with the host of the season being a slipper called Hello Kevin, who is seemingly a rip-off of Hello Kitty. It seems like Michael still has those same slippers to this day because he posted a video of them on Twitter. Now, we've reached the second season, BFDIA. In the scene where the characters show their favorite screen, Puffballs is a bit different, where it shows to be a silhouette of a human man, and after further inspection, I found out this was a portrait of Abraham Lincoln. I can't find the exact image, but trust me, it is. This episode's ending scene shows Leafy listening to an advertisement about the Leafy detector on a character called Boombox.
Bye now.
Who is one of the 3 radio broadcasters I've mentioned before, and also a character directly inspired from another object show, specifically the show Brawl of the Objects.
Say, Boombox, could you play that song we were listening to yesterday?
The next character appears in BFDIA 4, but not in person, being models of cows.
Cattle for Dream Island!
Okay. Cattles, made by Pin, which pretty much confirms us that cows exist or maybe have existed sometime in Goiki. In BFDIA 5, after FreeSmart escaped evil Leafy, Pencil questions Ruby at her lack of knowledge in buttons, stating that she thought she goes to gem school, and then Book explained that only diamonds go to gem school, hinting at the existence of Diamond, who we actually see in one of Kairi's videos, alongside her other 34 sisters, although these are probably not canon, thankfully. Now, we've reached BFDIA 5B, which if you didn't know, is actually a game, and not a video. There are some ways to play this game, but the official way was removed ever since Flash shut down, so if you want to experience the story, check out one of my older videos explaining the storyline and some more fun things about the game. But if you've already watched the video or played the game, let's continue. Along your adventure, FreeSmart stumbles upon a wooden house. This house belongs to the recommended characters that got eaten by evil Leafy, although we only get to see 3 of them, Lego Brick, Waffle, and Toon. The last 2 don't have anything to talk about, so let's focus on Lego Brick, who was the first person you met in the house, and the first non-FreeSmart character you add to your party. One of the stages requires you to betray him and leave him on a conveyor belt that makes him angry, and trap the characters inside his underground dungeon. And while this sounds like something an evil person would do, the recommended characters later reveal he isn't evil, but just very afraid of death. One of the tools you get to use during the game is this cube that you can pick up to use as a platform. But what if I told you this is actually a living character? Just like the GLaDOS character I've mentioned before, this cube known as the Companion Cube also comes from the game Portal, where it is treated as if it's alive. And to top that all off, the comic series of Portal shows the main character having direct conversations with the cube. But we aren't done with 5B quite yet. There is one character that appears on level 8 that is more important than all of them, being this little purple cube right here. Its only purpose in the game is to serve as an enemy. I asked my subscribers over on my community tab who he is and got a lot of incorrect answers, and since the idea of an entire BFDI character being so obscure bothers me, I want to start a movement to make this guy memorable. So if you can, try to give light to this character in any form you can. It could be just sharing pictures of him around, or doing something more beneficial like actually making a wiki page for him. And if you want to contribute even more, you can participate in my fan art competition where your only goal is to draw this guy as best as you can. You've got until my next video to send me your fan art under the hashtag 5BFanArt, so don't rush it. The winner of this competition will get a special spot in another project I'm working on over on my community tab if you want to check it out. So let's take a quick stop at IDFB because there's really only one thing to mention, being this shadowy figure. When Golf Ball and Tennis Ball entered the Science Museum, Golf Ball has a flashback to when she was young of a mysterious shadow chasing her down and hitting her, which is what gave her the dimples. Although if you're watching this in the future, this character probably got revealed in IDFB too. But anyway, let's move on to BFB. Donut's Diaries cover art contains multiple characters. While some of these kind of look like existing characters like the bug, the fish monster, and the fire monster, there are still creatures we don't recognize like this dinosaur, this slug, or this Dorito chip. In BFB 3, X uses an alarm clock to remind 4 when to do the intro. While we don't know if this alarm clock's face is real, in a show full of living objects, it's not exactly impossible. In BFB 10, during the exit scenes, we get to see more stuff, the first being this equation on the chalkboard of cats that apparently equals 2, and during the final scene, drawings of a person cooking and a child playing soccer also appear. If you pay close attention to the recommended character scene in BFB 12, you can see Gelatin taking one of the recommended characters called Jordan with him, and since Gelatin runs a steakhouse, I think we might have just met his supplier. Taking a massive skip to BFB 19, when the free smart super van reconnects to a signal, a muffled voice of a radio announcer can be heard. Although this could be just a muffled version of any of the past radio announcers I've mentioned before. Also in that episode, Taco does shadow puppets to entertain the viewers while Blocky reminisces about reminiscing, with the first hand puppet being clearly a fish monster. The other are less clear, like this humanoid looking one or this duck looking one. The sun itself might even be a living character, as it visually reacts to Blocky's roast.
Hey son, you're, pretty lame.
Woody's false vision in episode 22 hints at the existence of snakes as Woody perceived Taco's lettuce as them, but this could just be a mistranslation by 4, as Woody's mumbling was translated by 4, and I'm not exactly keen on 4 understanding him. In the same episode, Blocky dresses up as a grape and pretends to be someone else. This might be a hint at a grape character, although with the messiness of the face, this is probably just an oval with a face scribbled on it. The Pillory Ruins' archaic temple has 2 variants of totems, a winged serpent and a barfing serpent. I think that the winged serpent looks a lot like the fish monster, but since this temple is very old and ancient, maybe this hints at the fish monsters having flying capabilities in the past, which will honestly be kinda cool to see in an episode. During the BFB cruise bus ride to the desert, as X attempted to master recovery, Flower tells the contestants about a faint memory she has of a really powerful person hating the idea of 3 hosts hosting a show.
I have this really faint memory that long ago, someone really powerful hated the idea of competitions having 3 hosts.
And that it's a sign that the structure of a competition is falling apart. This clip is very weird as it's just really random and was never elaborated further, but I guess only time will tell us what this powerful person is. Wow, you've watched until the end. You know what that means. That means you've enjoyed this video. I think that's a good reason to like and subscribe to my channel, because I have content similar to this already up on my channel, and your support will only drive me into making even more, better videos. Check out these awesome fan art pieces. If you'd like to send me any art, you can through any social media, and also a reminder to participate in my art contest, using the hashtag on screen. You can also check out the videos on screen right now. Good day.